Oasis to kick it off. BlossoM versus KongDoo Panthera, first series of the week, deciding that final playoff spot. Pressure is going to be on, and KongDoo are still experimenting here with a roster. Ding back in Roar, starting over Changshik with Youngjin on the bench. So, immense amount of pressure on this roster that does not have stage experience playing together yet. This is going to be the first time we see all of these guys together. Let's see how they pull it off.
Well, I misspoke earlier when I said they were an 0-3 on Control. They're, of course, 0-4. We've had 4 weeks of Overwatch.
It's even worse than you were letting on it.
Yeah. 4 weeks of Overwatch, not a single win for this squad. So that means that Insane has no wins as well. Starting off with the Tracer here is going to be the race to this pack. They're actually going to give it up to take the left mini pack instead. BlossoM going to actually contest for the bottom one, but that puts them at a positional disadvantage here.
Yeah, I actually like this from KongDoo Panthera. This does give them dominance over the point here, at least to start things off. You can see they have fields back. They're actually operating up onto the high ground in the sign room at the moment. So now KongDoo do have to kind of poke their way back in while BlossoM is trying to inch their way through the choke. Jump in, coming down here from Roar, drops the bubble, just snapping away, trying to build up the primal rage as quickly as he can. And it's just going to be the Moiras exchanging back and forth. Left clicks coming in just to spam everybody back up to health. No one really going down there, but Dottore actually going to get caught off guard. Decay goes in, helps take him down. That Insane falls as well. Roar traded out as the point has been capped here from the side of KongDoo Panthera. It seems like they will be able to hold this here as they dive in, get the pick off on the Mineral, and BlossoM's going to have to regroup.
Yeah, BlossoM wasting this Coalescence as well. A little bit painful on the end of the world, but, you know, Luffy holds his. I want to point out that Roar used his jump twice there just for damage, not actually using it for distance because they had that positional advantage on the point. If you never take control of it, it doesn't matter if you have that pack health pack hacked down at the bottom here. It's now going to be stolen from them, so they gain nothing from that opening push. 35% here for Panthera, ult advantage as well, and they're going to look for an opening EMP. Oh man, this is a wide open one if he wants it.
Yeah, the Liquid 5 will throw that one down, catches multiple members, but so far the kills now going to start coming in. Insane gets taken out by the orb, soon will go down and Sia pops out of the back. Not going to be much of a stagger there onto the Baby Diva, but a big shutdown coming through onto BlossoM as they try to get back over to the point. And the biggest thing here is that they are very far away still from the support ultimates. Kalma now has his sound barrier ready to go. They still have both tank ultimates. Illicit could go ahead and break open this point if he times that EMP perfectly and manages to catch the Lucio.
Yeah, it's all going to be about the Lucio catch. Well, Insane going down here means they're not going to have the damage they need. They're going to have to regroup. They've still got nearly the big 6, but Dottore's not even really able to build sound barrier because they're not fighting here. They're so away from the point. He's not healing anybody. He's just picking up ultimates over time, not actually building ultimate. Illicit going to come with the team. They're going to try to force this EMP. Look at the position of Panthera. Lucio in the left room there, not hit by this.
Yeah, Illicit throws that one down. Now the sound barrier comes in, catches all 6 members on the side of KongDoo Panthera as they look to win this fight yet again. Insane going to go down the first one to fall. Decay is coming up trumps with his own Tracer, and the rest of BlossoM's going to kite back. They invested the primal rage. They just have the self-destruct really ready to go. Sound barrier will come down, falls out from Decay, not going to be finding any kills, but now this is the fight that BlossoM have to take. It's in OT. Self-destruct up into the air from Sia, looking for a pick, not going to find anything, and KongDoo pushes right back out to stop the captain coming through. Shubil throws in his own self-destruct, no catch, but makes it back into the back. In the meantime, Schröder and Mineral both gone down. Luffy goes low, manages to stay alive. Decay dashing around, looks to knock Sia out of the mech, finds the Diva, takes him down, and BlossoM just cannot step up to the plate. KongDoo Panthera looking to shut them out 100-0 to start things off on University.
I want to go back to the point you made very early on in this point. There was no sound barrier for BlossoM. When they went for the push in with the EMP, it's around 85% or so. The EMP got nowhere near Coma. He was in that left room on the point. You could see when he ran in, when Illicit ran in to try to hit that EMP, he looked around, did not scan the Lucio. You could actually see, because we had his first person view up, he was looking for Lucio, didn't find him. So Lucio's not damaged, he doesn't have that passive ability to see him, and then just tosses it out kind of willy-nilly. It's only 2 members realistically on the side of KongDoo Panthera. They get the huge barrier afterwards. They lose the fight. BlossoM loses the fight before Dottore builds a barrier. They come into the next fight with 2 support ultimates, still can't flip it. They're being outclassed here in every way, and Koma just being in the right position at the right time. And we're seeing this much better EMP play from Ding.
Yep.
He's actually had a great opening here on DPS tonight.
Well, it seems like, you know, not being on the starting roster for the last couple of weeks has lit a fire under his ass, and he really has stepped up to the plate so far. We'll see if that can go forward here on City Center to get the 2-0 victory for the side of KongDoo Panthera right now. Several members going to be back up into the corner as Roar tries to make his way up, jumps onto the high ground, but Shubil's going to be the one that loses the mech first as a point unlocks. Luffy as well getting jumped on. Insane trying to take him down, finish off the baby. Even Luffy will fall, and it seems like BlossoM this time around might be winning the war to go ahead and pick up this first cap. We'll be able to get it.
Let's see if Panthera can retake the point better than BlossoM. Remember last time they had the positional advantage? They won the first fight, consistently had ult advantages, and they shut down the EMP. So it's going to be them now that has to crack this point open. A much tougher point to crack with EMP than previously we saw in University because there's a wider area to avoid that EMP, so EMP not as effective here. And they have, you know, this ult disadvantage going into this as well. Luffy 30% away from that Coalescence. It's going to be very difficult to find opening picks. Here's Insane looking for the back line.
From the back, yeah, not going to find that stick. It's a little bit of damage in. Will not be able to get that kill ultimately, but Illicit will follow up and go ahead and take down Roar. Swoon, building up that Coalescence very rapidly, fires off. Doesn't find much, but they take down the tank line of KongDoo Panthera. They're going to have to regroup, try to come back in and win this fight. Illicit still has that EMP.
Yeah, only committing the Coalescence and a Pulse Bomb. So KongDoo Panthera gets shut down efficiently here with the ultimates. Decay looking for the backline. This is what he does. Does not want to use the jump. Spots a Lucio.
He sees a Lucio. That could be enough encouragement for him to go in. Back into the corner, jumps up here onto the high ground. Now comes down, throws down the EMP, but he's going to be hacked immediately thereafter as Dink follows up with one of his own. Now Coalescence down from Luffy, finds the pick there. Onto Illicit, Notori and Swoon both go down, and Shubil is going to be the only casualty as he gets knocked out of the mech, but Sia is traded back very rapidly. That's essentially going to be the team kill coming through. And we watched there get this flip at 71%.
We watched the wrong Sombra.
70.
Ding had a great EMP comparatively, and Dotori was killed by Decay. He did use the jump pad, he did get up there and finish off the kill after the hack came through. So more efficient hacking again here from Ding. And we do see this pick onto Decay, they trap him. This is the kind of play BlossoM should be looking for tonight, is just trapping Decay when he's trying to go for these flanks. He does it so often. Yeah,
if you can target him down, then that's going to be a huge crippling there to the side of KongDoo Panthera's roster. He has to find that pick. He's going to be coming back into the fight. Sound barrier used by Coma, trying to keep them in this one. Shubil, he'll get knocked out, throws in that self-destruct, and can he make it back into the mech? Looks like the answer is going to be yes! Gets the drop down on the mech to kill Insane!
So rare
to see that one come through. But at the same time, Sia trades one back there onto Luffy, taking him out with a self-destruct. Coalescence finishes off the baby Diva. KongDoo Panthera still have not surrendered this point yet, but it's not been looking great for them, especially with Roar going down.
All right, we got even EMP counts here now. They are going to retake this, looks like with about 55 or so percent.
They're trying to go ahead, they're trying to keep this one delayed, but can't tag back in. As soon as Coma got hacked, they knew to peel back.
Okay, so it's going to be the EMP battle again. Illicit failed last time to get value, and we saw Decay come up, harass the Lucio, and allow Ding to get a massive EMP. Let's see Insane looking for the opening pick on the Diva. EMP
diving in. They just find Coma. They rip him to shreds. Set Coalescence out from Luffy. Doesn't really mean anything. Barely scratching the surface here on the members of BlossoM, who are getting ready to push OT. Come through here on a City Center to try to tie this up 1-to-1 and finish it off at Gardens. Pulse bomb into the back. Not going to be finding Ding, but he still takes a lot of damage there for the one clip from Insane. Flip comes through though. KongDoo Panthera regain control in OT.
All right, well, this is, again, better EMP usage. Coma got picked early, using with Illicit coming through in that coordinated dive we saw from BlossoM. Also all the damage that came into Shubil as well, who's only just now going to be able to remag. But KongDoo Panthera just had the better mechanics in terms of shooting them in the head, basically, for lack of better terms here, in that fight. BlossoM holding on to this Coalescence. That's the real only ult advantage they have. They're looking for a choke point they can fight in with this.
There it is. To the side there, Coalescence comes down. Trying to chase in here. Really just has Shubil as a primary target. Trying to keep his members alive. The Pulse Bomb comes in and takes Sia out of that mech. And now Jason coming through. Soon manages to finish off the Diva. Mineral finds Luffy. Just going to be a 2-for-1 exchange so far as KongDoo needs to stop this take coming in. They nearly have it. Halfway there is double OT is going to be forced out. Illicit dead. Sia just now coming back in. Has the self-destruct ready to go. The flip comes through. KongDoo need to get onto the point. They need to do it right now. We'll be able to tag in here momentarily. BlossoM hunting down, trying to spot them out. Or comes forward, Pulse Bomb and Insane not going to be finding mine.
Coma's so close to a barrier. He's so close, he doesn't have it yet.
He's going to have it here just just a second, self-destruct in, doesn't find anything for Shoeville. Sound barrier ready to go, but needs to find an angle where he can find them all. Ding! Throws it down! No kills to come in. The sound barrier from Satori is perfectly timed. Answers with the shield immediately after that EMP comes in, and Coma is just a bit too late. Roar goes down, Shoeville's at the back, Shoeville is dead. And KongDoo Panthera's hopes of closing out City Center are pretty much gone as BlossoM has all 6 members still sticking around. They tried to delay, but Coma can't tag back in. He's dead. We're finishing this one off in Gardens.
That we are. I think this Oasis map has been a real big lesson in positional advantages. We saw the first map really decided by KongDoo Panthera controlling the control point first. Second map here, we saw in that last fight, because BlossoM had control of the point and KongDoo Panthera was trying to stagger and come in where they had to fight around overtime, they came in a little bit too aggressively and they were staggered in their positioning. The sound barrier to counter the EMP, which was a fantastic EMP, by the way, from Ding. It was basically perfect, just didn't hit the Lucio. Satori puts that sound barrier, they get on the point, they have the better position to hit the follow-up EMP, which wins them the fight. So having control of that point, having that overtime advantage on your side can just really make for easy defenses. BlossoM brings us to this third map. Gardens is what's going to close it out.
Well, they start the opening volley here as everyone pushes in onto the high ground. Makomo's going to be the first casualty. Remember the BlossoM, you see, not really even going low. They get the hack there on Aurora. They try to chase forward. Shoeville desperately try to keep them alive with that defense matrix. They will make their way down the staircase here, but Insane has a nice angle on the flank, just firing away into the backside of these guys as they try to exit with their lives. Shoeville going to get knocked out. He'll get taken down here by Satori. The first cap yet again comes through for BlossoM.
All right, BlossoM, ult advantage now. Look at Insane, he's just trying to catch Decay, sneaking around where he's not supposed to be. He's about to have a pulse bomb too, so if anyone else comes by, he can just slap it right on. Doesn't see anyone coming, does a little vision check here, is gonna look for the back line now on the supports, doesn't find anybody, goes for the Diva Mag.
Yeah, tries to throw that one down, but I believe the defense matrix was up, so doesn't find anything, no explosion to be had. Spoon is gonna get punished now. Mineral spilling forward here as KongDoo Panthera look to take this fight. Coalescence invested from the side of Fluffy, and they can pop out there onto Sia. Listen, he'll get taken down. That's the team wipe. A very swift flip here for the side of KongDoo Panthera, and they don't have to use anything other than that Coalescence.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird the way that BlossoM decided to engage that. It was kind of halfway there. They had to elicit in good position the EMP, but he waited for the greediest EMP, never was able to use it because by the time he was in position to do so, the entire team was dead. EMP gonna come in here, Panthera using it to open up this fight.
Yeah, Ding throws it down, and now they're gonna go forward here. Don't know how many members he caught, but it didn't seem like it was too many. Gets a hack in on to Ding. Does a less step, but not before he can use that translocator. I'm reach out from Roar. He'll go ahead and rejoin the squad here into the point. As Illicit looks for the EMP angle. So far, not gonna be finding it yet. Dashes in, throws it down. And KongDoo Panthera is going to be losing Shoeville here for the moment, but they're still chasing in. They're looking for a bit more. Sound barrier comes down from Coma, keeping them alive. BlossoM matches as Satori invests his. Another pulse bomb ready here from Insane. Throws it in, finds the pick on the Shoeville of all people. After sticking it there onto Roar, he manages to stay alive. But the pilot form Diva cannot say the same. Flip getting ready to come down. Another swift one here from BlossoM as they look to answer. Just keep going toe-to-toe versus KongDoo.
Very well played here so far by BlossoM, getting this flip in pretty efficient times here. They're almost getting that staggered kill onto Decay. Insane has had a great performance here on Gardens, just controlling the damage, constantly maximizing what he can do with his pulse bombs in these small choke points. Ult advantage to BlossoM ever so slightly right now. They need to be as efficient as possible with this Coalescence to make sure they can keep this point held.
Up onto the high ground goes to Winston. Roar just looking for Spoon. He's going to throw down the Coalescence. So far, going to be pretty unhindered, just chilling out here by the ledge. Keeps himself alive, just spams away, takes down Roar.
That was very well done. They're going to stagger a lot of respawns here, too. Shoeville's getting D-Mag.
Oh, yeah, he actually used the self-destruct on that one, too. So, was really trying to get back into the mech, but that's going to cost them a lot.
Yeah, and it's going to be another EMP battle, but remember, both major EMPs that have won maps, or rather won points here on this map, have been decided by the team that has the positional advantage. That team now is BlossoM. They've got Illicit on the high ground here in this window. And look at the spread here. It's going to be very difficult for Ding to do much with this.
Oh, he's going to drop down and just throw this in immediately, perhaps. Jumps to the side, translocator, spamming away at the moment. He'll kite his way back.
Couldn't find the Lucio, so baiting out that barrier is what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and then after Mineral went down, it was just a bit too much, so they decided to go ahead and surrender this one. They say, you know what, we're at 97%, they're at 60. We still have time to make it back in here. We have the ult advantage. Coma needs to get that sound barrier very quickly.
I actually love how BlossoM decided to do this. They want to take the perfect fight with their ultimates here, leading with that EMP that they now have. They have that advantage. Decay's look at the back lines, but you can't find anybody right now.
Away still doesn't have that pulse bomb ready to go. Luffy's going to use his coalescence matched by Swoon. That comes down there onto Decay, but he's going to manage to stay alive here for the moment. Listen, use that EMP, but no kills came of it. Sound barrier's available on both sides. Coma's going to be the one to pull the trigger, but it's right after Roar goes down. And listen, already found that kill. We'll trade out here for Sia, knocking him out of the mech. As Mineral goes low and he doesn't have a primal rage available. He's still getting hounded down. Will get taken out by Decay right at the end there. Good pickoffs coming through as KongDoo forced out that OT. Hack comes in, Insane trying to spam away here. Where the Tracer goes down onto the point, gets a recall just in time before he gets hacked, but he can't throw in the pulse bomb. And KongDoo Panthera, I think they've done it. Mineral can jump back in, but he doesn't have a primal rage, and they'll be able to close out OWC here with a 2-1 victory.
Decay's survivability in that fight was insane. He stayed alive for such a long time, despite the hacks coming through. He was just staying in the corner, and then once the rest of his team arrived and we saw the sound barrier come down, he just became the DPS machine. Realistically, he never has been until tonight. He's always been so focused on those backline picks, but in these fights where you can see his first-person view for an extended period of time, he was just doing the majority of the damage on his team, looking for tanks, looking for anyone that's in his face that he could shoot at. He controlled that last fight very brilliantly. Decay has finally lived up to the reputation he had leading into this tournament. He has very much been a weak Tracer until, realistically, the last 2 weeks of play here in regular season. And he's looking good tonight as well. It looks like we might have Insane subbed out. She's got his monitor raised up. Never mind, I was overreacting there. I thought they were moving it, but
it still could happen.
Could happen.
Looks like it's happening.
Looks like it's happening.
So that's going to be Ons coming in. So this is to be expected.
Well, we're going to Hollywood almost for sure. This has been their go-to map every single time. They actually took us to Eichenwald, which was a big shock against Element Mystic. I think it's because Element Mystic hasn't played too much Eichenwald, so they wanted to kind of trip them up there. It didn't work, but
we really haven't had anyone play Eichenwald other than Runaway.
Yeah.
They've been the big team that has run that one through. I think they've played it now 3 times.
Yeah, they really like to play.
So that's, I mean, that's their prime pick, but no one wants to give it to them. And usually it's Runaway winning control, so no one's going to pick that one for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been very straight away from by the majority of the teams here in the tournament.
Interesting to see the performance of Insane tonight. I think he was overall really playing well against Decay's playstyle, always camping for him, waiting for him, trying to make sure he could catch him when the run-bys come through.
It definitely came together from, in my opinion, on City Center. That's when he was doing much better, when they were able to get that victory. He looked very lost and kind of absent in the fights on University, but maybe it was just like a little bit of a warm-up round for him. Unfortunately, unable to get the victory. He will get traded out as expected here, as Ons will be coming in with his flashy purple hair.
And also his apparent wrist injury as well. Looks like it's the keyboard hand, so...
Could just be taped up just as a preventative measure.
I hope so. I think if you had to pick a hand to be injured, you would want it to be your keyboard hand as a Widowmaker player, though. That's
how I injure my hand, because I play so much World of Warcraft, and I'm jumping all over, trying to get my hotkeys, and I actually strain my hand a little bit. So
for me, it was always
I wrap mine up a little bit every now and then.
It was always the StarCraft for me. I got my hand messed
That'll
up.
do it. That's definitely a bit more intense than, I don't know, name a game.
Yeah. So I feel like for Ons here, this is his biggest test yet. He has to show that he can flex to Tracer more often. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there that I think it's going to be Hollywood as the map choice. Is to be able to flex to Tracer more often. He needs to be able to maximize sightlines with the Widowmaker and get kills, because he is going to have a Widow versus Widow matchup here to play. It's maybe Ding in that situation. We've never seen Ding play the DPS role today, so that might be the matchup we have, because Youngjin's not being subbed in. So
yeah, it would be intriguing. I don't think that KongDoo is having any flips on their side. I'll go ahead and cheat and take a peek, and no, they're not. So it's still going to be Ding running in, so Youngjin not going to be piloting. That's nice. I'm guessing, is that supposed to be Ons with his new purple hair?
Yeah. Does BlossoM to BlossoM in Korean there. It's kind of a, that's like their cheer thing. It's like just
BlossoM.
saying like BlossoM. BlossoM indeed. Well, that's purple though. It says, Coach, I want to go to the round of 8.
I mean, they definitely do. And they're pretty close to it, but they have to step it up. That's
I'm putting the Alyssa drawing back.
Oh my God, these are all great.
Oh my God, this person wins.
Oh man, do we got one for everybody? Let's keep it going.
Oh my God, they're going to ons with the headshots.
I will applaud them from the desk. That is some gorgeous
Look at
work.
Swoon too. Okay, you win.
All right.
Oh, you even gave the heart. Covered her face the whole time, gave the heart, showed all the drawings.
Overwatch League fans, I challenge you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be in that audience, you gotta step up your game.
Well, it says like, I'm the fan that doesn't know when to give up. It says, that's right, I'm a KongDoo fan, the fan that doesn't know when to give up.
Much like Dallas Field.
Probably a Dallas fan as well.
Topical.
Topical as well, yes. Speaking of, Rascal, could he come back to KongDoo? There's nothing against that, in the rules against that. I'd like to see it happen, personally. I'd love to see some Rascal in Korea again.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, look, Hollywood!
With open arms, and there you go. It's going to be Hollywood, as predicted by our resident prophet, Wolf.
I mean, Ons on Hollywood is just like butter on toast. You know, they go together. But it hasn't been working for them as well. They did pick the Eichenwald map in their series against Element Mystic, and they were shut down there. They didn't actually play to Ons' strengths on that map, but he's back. He's got his purple hair tonight. He's ready to go to playoffs. They're down a map in this series. It's their map pick. They're 0-5 on Control now, by the way. It's by far their worst map type. But hey, if it gives them the Hollywood pick, I guess it's okay.
That's all what it's about, is just getting that nice Hollywood pick. Just sacrifice Control, screw it, we don't need it. We'll win the 3-1 from there with the reverse
BlossoM's
sweep.
all about Ons' Widow, no matter what. All sacrifices, put them on the table. The win is not as good as a win on Hollywood with Ons' Widowmaker.
No price is too high, as long as Ons can play Widow.
Look, this has been the strength and weakness of BlossoM. It is their double-edged sword.
It really is just live and die by Ons' Widowmaker.
It really is. That is their motto. And if it doesn't show up tonight, or if KongDoo Panthera has, and no doubt they've been working on it, prepared a way to deal with the Widowmaker that has been the only strategy of BlossoM past Control, then they're going to have problems. They might not go to playoffs.
They might not. KongDoo starting things off quite nicely here with the victory there on Oasis. Ding still staying in the roster. Let's see how they manage versus Ons Widow on Hollywood.
사냥꾼 은밀하게 덫을 놓습니다.
They're feeling reinvigorated. They have that victory now under their belt.
Yep, one in the chamber here. Let's see if they...
Time for some Russian roulette.
Let's see if they can continue this. It is going to be the Orisa Junkrat defense here with Ding on the Junkrat. So I like to see Huxel, fantastic Junkrat on this defense, taking a page out of his book. Very likely here is the idea for Panthera, as it is going to be a Sombra attack.
Well, they're going to go ahead and kite back and change this out.
Oh boy, well, we know what's about to happen.
And, oh, it's a different sniper.
Oh, no, it's actually just going to be the Reinhardt Hanzo. Okay.
All right. We'll see how this one goes on. Firing away here with the Hanzo, looking for a hit. Sonic Arrow.
Sonic yet, yeah.
Yeah, will come out. Spots 3 of them.
Looking for the Zen here, almost getting that.
Scatter shot, not going to be getting the hits there onto Ding.
I love me some flexibility, Achilios, but this is not what I had in mind.
Big hold grab comes through. They nearly take down Illicit. Swoon as well, falling low, and Sia's going to get knocked out of the mech.
Here comes the Ripfire.
Comes through. Ding builds this one up very rapidly. Pops over onto that high ground. Halt drags them together, but they get the hit in the end. Illicit manages to take that one down, but he cannot save the push.
This is a very similar composition to what we refer to as the Phalanx in some ways, but not in all ways. It's got the Hanzo Junkrat, it's got the Reinhardt, but there's no Zarya, there's no Lucio. And I guess the idea with the Mercy is to pocket the D.Va and also maybe boost the Hanzo. It's a little bit weird. To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be successful.
I mean, you can boost the Junkrat at range and just spam down the barriers from the Orisa.
There's no, without beyond that, there's no way to actually get the Hanzo arrows into the back there. It's just not happening.
You gotta scatter.
Taking a while.
You gotta scatter the back wall.
You can tell.
And hope that it just gets some headshots.
You can tell how little damage he's done because he's at 42% of an ultimate. He's gonna almost go down here.
Yeah, gets jumped on there to K, coming around from the backside, looking for him. Needs to be careful. Doesn't want to walk into a scatter arrow, but now we're gonna go ahead and see that. Transcendence coming in. The stick comes down to K. Just pops that right on the head of Mineral. They'll get shut out. Ons manages to take down Shubel, but that's about as good as it gets.
That is about as good as it gets.
And he managed to spam back up. He's gonna be just rezzed in.
Yeah, Roar even moving forward here with this barrier, because they know they can get some reset kills here. Now they have the Dragon Strike. The Dragon Strike can break this point. Dragon Strike's gonna go straight through that barrier, and it's gonna go to that setup. So they actually have to be careful.
If it doesn't get devoured by a defense major,
that's true.
He's gonna have to throw it to the wall. If he tries to throw it point blank, it's just gonna die.
Getting swoon as well.
So much. Everyone turning to try to fire on that one, but Sia turns out with the spray on the Diva shots, it's just not good enough to actually take down a Riptire.
So he's gonna go for it here. It looks like good angle potentially.
Yeah, you can see this is why he's maybe cutting back. Wants to make sure that he's safe. We'll spot out.
Make sure there's no
Decay.
tracer. Yes, on his backside. Nice. Okay, here we go. Coming in.
Throws it down. Dragon Strike going through.
And we don't see it at all, but
a little bit of damage is about all that it found, but this does gain some priority here onto the point for the side of BlossoM. On's gonna get taken down. Decay manages to find him after being brought back up from the res. He invests in self-destruct. Finds Luffy actually in the end, and that's going to be 2 ticks going over to BlossoM. Soon getting jumped on. Decay comes in the back, finishes him off with the melee hand, but needs to stay on the point to keep delaying out the members of BlossoM here as they try to get this cap through, and it seems like it's working out pretty damn well.
Decay is just carrying this fight right now so well. Shubel gets taken out here, but it looks like they are going to be able to retake control. Sia gets demacked as he tries to run through.
Barely missed that pin there on Nakoma. Even if he had it, it's not like it was going to give them the point. 67.3%.
Even got the res. They even got the res on the D. BlossoM switching Ons back over the Tracer. This did not work out, not even close, did not hit the mark. And I love to see Ons trying to flex away from the Widow, but usually onto the Tracer, not onto the Hanzo.
Okay, looking around the side. Whole spot ready to go. He's going to go low, throws it out, a bit of a Hail Mary. He jumps back, panics, and he falls down to 12 HP. But now Ding has another Riptire ready to go, and he's going to go ahead and toss this one out. Comes charging through, finds the Winston, says, you're a nice target, takes him down. And BlossoM are looking to be full health here on point A. Ons goes down. They try something new, and it just flops. 76.2% as EOT gets ready to tick down. They're just getting picked off one after the other here. No one other than Sia really to tag in. Illicit's dead. They'll knock him out of the max. They'll cut him down very swiftly. Now it's all on Mineral, but he can't even get there in time. A nice group comes through, and they get full held on A.
I can appreciate what they were trying to do. I can appreciate the try to build the Dragon Strike, trying to get those flank kills onto Decay, which is clearly BlossoM has prepared very well against Decay's playstyle. I love that Sonic Arrow scatter kill. There's a few cool highlight moments there for the Hanzo, but overall the strategy was a weak one. We've seen strategies like this before on Hollywood, going back to the first APAC season where Rogue was able to take that one. We saw play with Tavik going into this with the Zarya, and it can work with the Zarya where you have Gravitons to actually use the Dragon Strike. We've seen styles like this work on Hollywood in the past, especially against really tough to break defense lines. This Dragon Strike just really allows you to totally smash that and force them to move elsewhere. There was just no coordination. We saw the Dragon Strike do a little bit of damage, but the team didn't come in with it, so they didn't actually gain anything from the disarray that was caused there by the Dragon Strike. We saw a lot of just minor mistakes as well with the execution there. The Hanzo just never really able to get into position, never able to break the barrier with those Junkrat grenades. And every time I was watching the Junkrat coming out here for Ding, I was just looking saying, well, look, I suddenly look in the peripheral vision on my top right while I'm watching Hanzo, and everybody on the side of BlossoM is on almost no health. He's got a Riptire.
You see what Ding was doing right there? He was putting the Hanzo in the corner where he belongs. You go over there, you think about what you've done, or what you haven't done, really, because they got full held.
You know,
and just stay there.
It might be a better way to describe it. He's not a whole lot here. So
I really hope he runs this. I hope that they could just run the same exact composition and make it work. It would be the most BM thing ever.
As much as I'd love it, Achilios, I think he's just going to toss out the Sonic Arrow and then switch back to the Tracer. But let's see. Or sorry, not to the Tracer, the Sombra.
Oh, Lumpy gets taken down. That's a nice pick off there. The res comes out immediately here.
Going
from
for the
Coma.
Junkrat attack here. Ons, look at this. They're setting up for the same kind of defense we saw from Meta Athena against KongDoo Panthera, where they have Ons in a position where he actually just flashbangs Decay when he comes around.
Well, so far, both supports from KongDoo have been targeted out. Luffy first, then Coma getting taken down. Decay now up onto the high ground, just going to be spanned away with the left leg, looking for a couple of hits. Yeah. The orb deflection.
Now they know it's not a tracer. Ons is going to stay up here on the high ground. It doesn't need to be trying to get these sort of flashy picks like we saw from Innovation last week. Oh!
Okay.
There's a kill.
That's a nice one, Ding. Gonna be res. I mean, this res is just basically gonna get used on cooldown. Coma comes back in, immediately has to pop that one. Tanks go forward, flashbang in. It's the headshot there on the shoe build, but not gonna take him out of the mech. Not gonna take down Roar.
He's gonna flank here. Wants to actually get the back line exposed.
They're jumping into the cafe. They're trying to wrap around the backhand side here, lock down the squishier members. Illicit, he's gonna go low, get sapped down, but the pocket comes in from the Mercy. Keeps him alive, and Ons is able to finish off Roar. But that first tick has already come down. They're ticking upward here at KongDoo Panthera. He didn't get this completion. Notori taken down, Reptire comes through. Not really gonna be finding too many targets. Yeah, I mean, he can go ahead and hunt down Swoon. Or Lumpy, sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice stagger there. It's gonna help them in terms of time bank. They do grab this first tick, as you mentioned. Ons really, with a cool flank there, was able to blow the tanks up. I mean, absolutely destroying them when he came around the backside there with the Discord orbs on them, and they just didn't know where he was coming from. And because they're not running a tracer, can't really punish him. He just gets free damage on the collapsing sandwich. Very well played by Ons. BlossoM could get this hold.
The risky one there, Coma flying up into the air, takes that hit straight to the front. That's going to be Transcendence coming down here from Swoon. Notori going up with his own Valkyrie. Decay dashes in, but actually dies to the trap. It's a bit too low. Now Deadeye coming down, not really giving him any sidelines. Barely misses that baby diva shot there on a shoe bell. There still aren't in onto the point yet. Bit of a battle here from the Zenyatta's. Lumpy will come out on top, but he's going to go low, gets peeled back up.
That's
the
going to be it
from the Mercy, and that will be it. The team wipe comes through. KongDoo Panthera leading the series 2-0, forcing BlossoM's hand. They say you want that spot in playoffs. Now you have to reverse sweep us.
Ding, killing it tonight on both the Sombra and on the Junkrat. Getting into the right position there to punish Ons when he was trying to come down to again burst the tank lines, doing so much damage to him there. Outperforming what we were seeing on the side of BlossoM. I like the idea to put Ons on the McCree here. Have that full hold. It's very strong against the playstyle of Decay when he's on the Tracer, but he was not. He was playing the Genji. Got the Transcendence to be forced out early, and during that time, everyone had to kite back. That gave the room there for Ding to get into position to do massive damage on the Junkrat. KongDoo Panthera looks like a new team tonight. They are completely reformed. And this is with Changshik on the bench. This is with Youngjin on the bench as well. Youngjin was considered by many to be their best player this season, but Ding has really stepped it up. He's going back to his roots. And as you say, BlossoM now needs, realistically, a reverse sweep and to win 2 maps in a row and then to take that final Oasis tiebreaker if they want to walk home with a playoff spot tonight.
So far, not looking great. Gonna have to go back to standard. The experimentation just falling short here for them. Now their backs are well and truly up against the wall. KongDoo Panthera just need one more closeout, and they secure that 4th place spot in the group to move forward into playoffs later this week. So not going to be the most prep time. They won't even know realistically who their opponent is going to be until potentially the end of the week on Wednesday, or the end of this, you know,
the end of this
the end of
season,
the round robin here on Wednesday. Might not know. I'm not 100% certain on the match schedule moving forward and when those spots will be finalized to figure out who their opponent is going to be in the other group. But it's still like locking it down here today. That's something you can walk away from feeling refreshed, having newfound momentum, newfound mental stability as well, knowing like, you know what, we are going to carry forward the KongDoo name. At least we're making it into playoffs every single time. That's the first half of the series done for us here, though. Again, one more win, KongDoo's in. We'll see if they can close it out when we come back from the break in just a few.